My child, do you not understand that there are wounds that make no sound, do not shake the ground, yet slowly wear away the soul, just as water slowly wears down a stone? I look at you and see that you are still smiling, still moving ahead, still doing everything that needs to be done. But the breath of your spirit has become so quiet that even you no longer notice it. You are standing at the doorway of the new season I have prepared for you. That is why I want you to wake up, because the greatest danger often comes from the place where you feel the safest. Long before David stood before Goliath, no one saw that his greatest battle had already begun. It did not start on the battlefield. It began during quiet days when a young shepherd stood alone in the open fields. There was no sound of war, no shining armor, only the fierce roar of a lion and a bear coming toward the flock. Those battles were hidden, unseen, and remembered by no one. Yet it was there that David's faith was tested and made strong. Do you know that Goliath was not his first enemy, nor even his greatest one? The true enemy was the temptation to believe that his own strength was enough. So what is quietly pressing against your spirit today has not come to fill you with fear, but to remind you of what truly matters. The most important battle always comes before the one everyone else can see. From the outside, your life may appear normal, maybe even peaceful, but I can see the small cracks forming in your spirit. I see the anxiety that comes without a clear reason, the tiredness that has no easy explanation, the feeling of uncertainty that visits you during the night. You think these are only passing emotions, but they are signs. An unseen struggle is quietly growing inside you, in the places no one else can see, where it is easiest to lower your guard. I'm not telling you these things to frighten you. I am showing you the signs that the promise is drawing near. The enemy always tries to put out the light before it shines brightly. Not every attack arrives like a storm. Most begin through very small habits. A little distraction. A little content you casually watch. A few words that slowly weigh down your mind. Each of these is like a drop of water falling on the stone of faith. At first, you barely notice it, but over time it cuts a deep path through the soul. If you are not watchful, I see you praying less because you are busy. I see you seeking me less because you are tired. Without realizing it, your spiritual armor becomes thinner while you still believe you are standing strong. My child, the greatest danger is not a wide open door for the enemy. It is the small crack you are too careless to notice. One day you are still smiling at people, still completing your responsibilities, still serving as you always have, yet there is a quiet emptiness inside you. Not because you are weak, but because you are slowly drying up without realizing what has been slipping away. The long nights without sleep, the tears you carefully keep hidden, the loneliness you carry even when surrounded by people, these are the spiritual signs I want you to recognize. If you keep living on only small pieces of faith, you will become exhausted just before reaching the place I am preparing for you. I will not let you reach that point without warning you. I am calling you back now so you will lean on me before your weariness causes you to let go. My child, there are days when I see your soul shaking like a candle burning in the wind. Nothing appears wrong on the outside, yet you keep walking, keep working, and keep saying, "I'm fine," but I know there is an emptiness hidden behind those ordinary words. The battle you believe is happening around you is actually growing deep inside, in the place you notice the least. Small signs begin to appear, tiredness without explanation, anxiety that comes and goes like a shadow, and the slow loss of your spiritual rhythm. This is the warning bell I am sounding so you will understand. You are facing a spiritual attack. Pray, and keep praying, so you do not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. I do not tell you this to frighten you. I tell you because I see everything. I remind you not to ignore the things that seem harmless inside your heart. Do you remember the story of Elisha and his servant? One morning the servant opened the door and saw the enemy army surrounding the city. Fear filled his heart because all he could see was danger. But Elisha saw something greater. He looked beyond what was visible because he knew the true battle was not outside with the enemy, but inside the servant's fearful heart. As Elisha prayed, I opened the servant's eyes so he could see the countless heavenly warriors covering the mountains, stronger than every earthly threat. You see, the greatest danger was never only outside. The greatest danger comes when your spirit sees only opposition and forgets that I am still protecting you. The enemy first tries to convince you that you are alone, and from there he begins fighting within your heart. My beloved child, I clearly see those moments when you quietly ask yourself, why am I so tired when nothing really happened? It is often when everything seems peaceful that your spirit is most likely to fall asleep. When you depend only on daily routine, you forget that your soul must stay awake every single day. The enemy does not wait until you become weak before attacking. He plants small arrows, twisted thoughts, and feelings you cannot explain, making them seem temporary. Little by little he tightens the pressure, not with violence, but by slowly slipping in until you notice your faith pulling back like the tide moving away from the shore. I see you trying to appear strong, but I also see the quiet places inside you that you have never dared to face. That is where the real battle is silently taking place. My child, I do not wait until you completely fall before I come to rescue you. I want to bring you back to me before a little weariness becomes a deep gap between us. Do not believe you must be strong in order to please me. I want you to bring me even your broken pieces, even the confused thoughts you are afraid to confess. When you return to me, even the battle inside you begins to change because I never leave my children to fight alone. Think of David. Long before he stood before Goliath, he had already learned to find safety in me during the quiet days when no one was watching, and that place of refuge became his true strength. Let me fight for you. The battle inside your heart is not something you must overcome by yourself. I only ask you to return to me, and I will take care of the rest. Do you know that although I always protect you, there are small openings in your daily life that leave you more exposed than you realize? It is not because the enemy is powerful enough to break through my protection, but because there are little cracks you leave unguarded without noticing. When your mind is pulled in hundreds of meaningless directions, when you allow the voices of others to fill the place that belongs to me, your spiritual armor slowly grows weaker. I do not accuse you for this. I simply want you to understand. What should remain closed slowly becomes an entrance for the things that drain your strength. Once you see this, you will understand why I call you to stay spiritually awake every day. Even small steps are enough to bring your soul back into the safety I prepared for you. My child, there are things that seem harmless, yet quietly weaken your spiritual strength without you realizing it. I see your mind being pulled every day by countless sounds, pictures, and stories. Many of them are not evil, yet they do not feed your soul. When your thoughts become filled with voices that are not mine, it becomes harder for you to recognize my gentle call. This is not a criticism. It is a reminder. That is why there are nights when you feel exhausted without understanding the reason. These small things become the first openings that make you easier to wound than before. You do not have to completely fall before you are hurt. Sometimes only a tiny speck of dust in the eye is enough to blur your vision. Think about the young boy Samuel in the temple. At night my voice called him again and again. But Samuel believed it was Eli speaking because he had not yet learned to recognize my voice among the familiar sounds around him. I did not condemn Samuel. I kept calling him with patience until he stopped, listened, and answered, "Speak, for your servant is listening." You see, my voice never becomes silent. It is simply that your mind becomes so crowded that you can no longer tell the difference between my voice and distraction when you allow small things to fill your heart. They do not arrive with loud noise, but they slowly take the place that belongs to me. This habit of constantly listening to the world has caused many of my children to lose the ability to recognize the warnings I lovingly give them. I know there are moments when you let your thoughts drift into distraction, telling yourself, "It does not matter," but, my child, the enemy does not need a door standing wide open. It only needs a tiny opening, and little by little it can turn your heart slightly away from me. A little doubt, a little comparison, a little bitterness. Together they gather like small drops of water that never stop falling until they become a stream carrying you away from the source of life. I do not want to watch you drift away in those hidden currents, because I created you to walk with strength, not with quiet weariness. I want you to understand that whatever fills your mind today will become either your strength or your burden tomorrow. Do not wait until your soul is completely tired before returning to me. If you pause for just a moment in the middle of all the noise, if you open again the door of prayer that has remained closed for so long, you will find me waiting there. I do not need long or perfect prayers. I only want your open heart, even if it is only for one breath. When you let go of empty entertainment, useless stories, and thoughts that weigh heavily on your mind, you will see my light return and fill the places you believed were empty. My desire is to enter your mind first, protecting you from attacks your natural eyes cannot see, because you belong to me, and I will not allow your soul to be stolen without warning you. The day will come when you understand that spiritual neglect never arrives all at once. It enters through decisions that once seemed too small to matter. One day you miss your time of prayer. Another day you hesitate to open the scriptures. One evening you allow anxiety to replace your conversation with me. None of these moments arrive like a storm. They quietly settle over your life like a cold mist covering the ground. As I look at you, I do not want you to condemn yourself, because simply recognizing this is already the first step toward becoming watchful again. All you need to do is gather your thoughts, gently close the doors you unknowingly left open, and allow me to lead you back to the place of safety. You were not created to live in weakness. You were created to stand firmly in the light, no matter how confused or noisy the world around you becomes. There is a kind of destruction, my child, that makes no sound. It spreads like a thin fog until the soul slowly grows cold, and you can no longer remember when it first began. I see that you still smile at people, still work faithfully, and still carry out your responsibilities. Yet the light inside you has become dim. Not because you stopped loving me, but because you have been living on small pieces of faith. You read only a few verses of scripture just to make it through the day. You say a short prayer before sleeping and tell yourself, "That is enough," but, my beloved, the soul cannot live on crumbs. It needs to breathe from me. It needs fullness. It needs living water that keeps flowing without stopping. Otherwise, weariness will quietly take over. The greatest danger is not the storm itself, but the exhaustion that slowly grows over time. There are nights when you lie awake in the darkness. Your eyes stay open, yet sleep never comes. Your heart feels heavy even though you cannot explain why. I see everything, the tears you keep hidden, and the deep longing you never tell anyone about. Your soul is searching for something to hold on to without realizing that I am already near, simply waiting for you to return to me. Think of Elijah when he ran away, exhausted, and sat beneath the broom tree, ready to give up. I did not come to him through the powerful wind, the earthquake, or the fire. I came with a quiet voice to let him know I was there. I never left him, even when all his strength was gone. It is the same with you. I do not wait until you become strong before drawing near. I come closest when you are at your weakest, reminding you that the tiredness inside you is not the end, It is an invitation to return to true peace. I understand the moments when you blame yourself because you no longer feel the same passion. When you worship, your emotions no longer overflow. When you pray, your heart feels dry. You think you have disappointed me, but what you are experiencing is simply the result of staying away from the source of life for too long. A branch separated from the tree does not dry out immediately. It stays green for a while before it begins to wither. In the same way, you can continue spiritual routines for a time, but when my life is no longer flowing through you, your soul slowly becomes tired. I am not condemning you for that. I only want you to understand that your life does not come from your own effort. It comes from staying connected to me. The moment you return, that connection becomes alive again, bringing life back even to the places you believe had already died. There are people who stand among crowds and still feel completely alone. You have felt that too. Not because no one loves you, but because your spirit has become exhausted and you do not know how to explain it. You carry the feeling that no one truly understands you, that you are invisible in the middle of everything. That feeling is more than emotion. It is a sign that your soul needs my touch. I want you to know that this loneliness was never meant to destroy you. It is meant to draw you closer to me, because only in my presence will the fear of your inner emptiness disappear. Remember David before he became a great king. He spent many nights crying inside dark caves while surrounded by loneliness and those who wanted to harm him. Yet even in those darkest places, he wrote words filled with hope because he knew I would never leave him during the night. It is the same for you. The darkness will not overcome you if you allow me to remain with you. There are moments, my child, when you will one day understand that this quiet weariness causes many people to step back just before I move most powerfully in their lives. Not because they are weak, but because they do not realize how empty they have already become. I do not want you to enter the new season with a fading light, tired feet, and a confused heart. I want to restore you before you step into everything I have prepared for you. When you begin to feel your soul becoming gentle again, when you understand that weariness is not a punishment but a quiet warning, you will discover the simple step that leads to the answer I have been waiting to show you. Let go of the things that drain your strength so you can lean on me and receive the strength that is real. My child, many times you hold yourself together just so everything appears fine. But I can see the shaking hidden beneath your calm face. You think trusting me means you must always stay strong, always stand firm, and never let anyone see your weakness. But, my beloved, faith is not a mask that covers broken places. Faith is the hand you lift toward me when you no longer have the strength to stand alone. I have never asked you to become strong before coming to me. Even the greatest people in Scripture became weak, and it was when they admitted their helplessness that I lifted them higher than before. Do you remember when Israel fought against Amalek? Moses stood on the hill. As long as his hands stayed raised, the people won the battle. When his arms became tired and dropped, they began to lose. But victory did not come because Moses was strong. It came because he allowed others to hold up his hands when he could no longer do it himself. I placed Aaron and Hur beside him, not because Moses was not enough, but because I wanted him to understand that this battle was never meant to be carried by one person alone. It is the same with you. I did not create you to fight every battle by yourself. If you keep depending only on your own strength, you will grow tired. When you surrender yourself to me, you are supported by a strength that never grows weak. I see the days when you read my word but your thoughts are somewhere else. I see the moments when you pray, yet the words seem to drift away while your heart still feels heavy. You think you have disappointed me, but, my child, this is not failure. It is simply a reminder that prayer, worship, and my word were never meant to be duties. They are the place where your soul finds life again. They are the fresh breath your spirit needs. When you allow small things to slowly drain your faith, you naturally become exhausted. But if you return to these familiar places, you will discover they are far more alive than you remembered. They are not empty rituals. They are weapons. They are not just habits. They are shelter. They are not only part of your daily routine. They are the way I cover your soul and protect you from battles you cannot see. There are things you need to leave behind. Not because I want to take something away from you, but because those things slowly drain your spiritual life. Conversations that leave your heart heavy. Relationships that do not draw you closer to me. Habits that quietly steal your peace. They are like tiny holes in the bottom of a container where living water keeps leaking away while you wonder why you always feel empty. I love you far too much to watch you keep holding on to what makes you weaker. If you let those things go, I will fill that empty place with something better, something healthier, something that comes from me. I will never ask you to release something without giving you something greater in return. What I have prepared for you is always greater than anything I ask you to leave behind. Do you know what touches my heart most when you choose to surrender to me, even while your heart is shaking? I answer by surrounding you with complete protection. I send my angels to watch over you. I place a wall of fire around your life. I close the doors the enemy has been trying to enter through. But there is one door I will never force open, the door of your heart. When you open it and simply say, "Lord, I am weak. Fight for me," that is when my power is seen most clearly. You do not have to shout. Even a quiet cry is enough, and I am already there. When you allow me to fight for you, you will discover that the battles which once filled you with fear are small in my hands. One day, when you have become stronger, gentler, and renewed from the inside, you will understand that surrender does not make you weak. It makes you strong in a way this world cannot understand. You will begin to notice the quiet movements of spiritual battles, the places where protection is needed, and the people walking through the same pain you once knew. In this new awareness, you will naturally step into the purpose I prepared long ago, becoming not only someone who is protected, but someone who strengthens the tired. You will not need loud words or long explanations. The quiet change within you will invite hurting souls to return to the safety they see in me through your life. You remember the story of Joseph? My child, he was a young man who was sold by his own brothers, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. His life seemed filled only with pain that no one could escape. Yet it was through those very hardships that I placed him in a position where he could save an entire nation. When his brothers finally stood before him during the famine, Joseph did not choose revenge. Instead, he saw how I had used the years of suffering to bring life to many others. You see, suffering did not destroy him. It shaped him into an instrument of rescue. The same will happen in your life. The places where you once cried will become the places where you speak strength to tired souls. Not through impressive ideas, but through the healing I have worked in your own wounds. I want you to understand that your words carry more spiritual weight than you realize. When you complain, weariness spreads like dark smoke. But when you say, "I believe," even one simple sentence can change the atmosphere around you. Have you not seen that every word you speak plants a seed, either lifting people up or making their hearts heavier? As I continue shaping you from within, I want you to become someone who plants hope in the lives of others. A prayer of intercession, a word of encouragement, or a gentle hand placed on someone's shoulder can sometimes tear down a stronghold of despair inside another heart. Your transformation is not only something people will see with their eyes. They will also feel it through the peace flowing from your words. My beloved child, I have placed tired and hurting people around you, not so you will carry them by your own strength, but so you can become a voice that awakens them and a bridge leading them back to me. This happens not only through great acts, but through simple daily faithfulness. When you pray for your family, your loved ones, and those close to your heart, you are doing more than speaking to me. You are building a spiritual wall around them. When you gently warn someone, share about me, or stand beside a person in weakness, you release spiritual work that is more powerful than you know. You are planting seeds of salvation while remaining under my protection. I do not want you to merely survive. I want you to become a vessel that carries life. My child, let me speak to you even more deeply, like a father holding your shoulders and looking into your soul to remind you that you are precious in this vast world. You are part of the inheritance I have chosen, the place where I have placed my name, the vessel I guard with holy love. Nothing that happens in your life escapes my eyes, because you are the place where I dwell, the living temple into which I breathe my life. So whenever pressure surrounds you, whenever harsh words are spoken against you, whenever confusing crossroads stand before you, none of it happens by accident. These are arrows the enemy sends on purpose to pull your attention toward what is seen instead of lifting your eyes to where I am waiting. He does not want your eyes to turn toward me, because he knows that the moment you truly look at me, everything he has built will fall apart like dust beneath your feet. I am the one who stood in the fiery furnace beside the 3 young men. I am the one who shut the mouths of the lions for Daniel. I am the one who caused the walls of Jericho to fall before the footsteps of faith. I am the one who broke Paul's chains in the darkness of prison. Every battle is already under my authority before it even begins. But if you want to walk in this power, you must return to me, restore your heart, and bring your spirit back into agreement with the truth I have placed within you. You have lived through many seasons and many experiences. I know there were times when you opened your heart to things that did not come from me. You looked at things that did not strengthen your soul. You listened to voices mixed with the noise of this world and accepted them as wisdom. You held on to small but steady thoughts, quiet yet poisonous feelings, and doubts that seemed harmless, but little by little they weakened your spiritual armor. You believed you were only watching a little, listening a little for entertainment, thinking about it just a little. But the enemy only needs something small to plant. He does not need a storm. He only needs a seed. A little doubt to make you hesitate. A little bitterness to pull you away. A little distraction to weaken your prayer. He does not usually arrive with a loud shout. He prefers to whisper. He does not break down the door. Instead, he quietly gathers the small pieces. He does not strike all at once. He slowly pulls you away one step at a time. He interrupts the rhythm of your spiritual life until one day you realize you have drifted farther from me than you ever expected. And when you move far from me, you become vulnerable to things that should never have been able to shake you. I tell you this, not to condemn you, but to awaken you, to open your spiritual eyes that have become covered by the dust of weary days. I touch your ears so my voice becomes clear again, helping you recognize which voice belongs to me and which does not. You are the temple of my spirit, a holy place that was never meant to become a playground for confusing voices. I placed you in this battle, not so you would fall, but so you would stand firm like a flame that keeps burning even in the darkest night. My love for you is not selfish jealousy. It is because I know that nothing except me can truly keep your soul whole. When you allow empty things to fill your mind, you open the door for the enemy with your own hands. I will not quietly watch while he steals the strength, purity, and peace I placed inside you. That is why I speak to you like a loving father who is also firm. And now is the time to make a clear decision. Break every hidden chain. Cut away destructive thoughts. Clear out the noise filling your mind. Turn away from everything that keeps pulling your heart away from me, one small step at a time. Do not be afraid. Whenever I ask you to lay something down, I have already prepared something better for you. When I ask you to let go of a harmful voice, I replace it with my living word. When I ask you to leave behind a habit that weakens your soul, I fill you with a peace that this world can never give or take away. You do not have to do this alone. I never give instructions and then leave you by yourself. I walk with you. I restore every room of your mind. I bring light into every dark place inside your soul. I remove the words that have wounded your heart. I wash away the things that have clung to you for so long, leaving you tired without understanding why. All I ask is that you open your heart so I can begin this work, and I will complete the rest with the tenderness that only I can give. As you begin to purify your heart, as you choose to close your eyes to the noise of this world and open your spiritual eyes to look at me, you will begin to see what once seemed far away peace. Not peace because everything becomes easy, but peace in the middle of every storm. Not peace because the enemy disappears, but peace because I remain with you. He cannot touch you when you are hidden in me. When your heart returns to its true place, where I remain at the center, everything around you also begins to return to its proper place. What once filled you with panic will seem small. What once disturbed you will lose its power. What once tried to destroy you will become the very step that lifts you higher. My child, if deep inside you feel these words are reaching your heart from me, respond with one small but deeply spiritual step. If this message has touched your heart, let your like be a sign that you are opening yourself to me, saying, I receive this. Write your name in the comments. Not so people can be counted, but because I know every name completely. I see every face. I place my hand upon every heart. I set apart those I have chosen to step into the new season, a season of salvation, healing, and the revealing of power that will no longer stay hidden. My child, subscribe to this channel as a sign of commitment, as though you were making a covenant with me. I want to walk beside you and speak to your heart each day. I do not want the spiritual awakening that has just begun inside you to fade away. This is not only entertainment. It is a spiritual doorway, a place I use to speak, correct, encourage, and guide those who truly seek me. Now stay quiet for a moment. Do not hurry into something else. Place your hand over your heart and notice the gentlest movement within. It is like a soft wind, like my breath touching the hidden places you have kept covered for so long. It is not your imagination. It is I, confirming to your soul that my work has already begun. My child, I now want to lead you into a deeper place, the place of declaration, authority, and the spoken words I desire to place inside you. Raise your voice, not because I need to hear you, for I already know every movement of your heart, but so your own soul can hear the truth it is speaking. I stand in the middle of the battle, and the shadow of your wings covers me.